Okay, so now we are ready to flip it around. And we're going to clamp on that part that we just machined. Let's put our live center back into the tailstock. Need to have a few inches extended out. And then I also want to leave a little bit of a gap at the chuck here. So we're clamping here, little gap there. And I need to make sure that my cutting tool can get all the way to the end of the barrel without anything over here interfering. So it looks like I have plenty of clearance all the way. So we're ready to proceed with the next step, which is going to have us cut the diameter down for the entire length. So here we're down to step 21. Wants us to set the RPM at 300 if we have it. I don't have 300, but I'm just going to leave it on 275. We're going to, everything's pretty much set up the same. We just need to touch off the tool, zero this out. We want this diameter of the barrel goes down to 1 inch. So the largest part of this barrel all the way down is, no, I'm sorry, not 1 inch, 1.1 inch. So it's bigger than what we just did. So we're going to cut 1.1 all the way down to the chuck there. So the starting diameter again is 1 1/8, 1.125. So we just need to take a light pass of 25 thousandths all the way down. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the lathe on. Make sure my tailstock is clamped down and that my live center is up snug. That down, and we're just going to carefully again touch the tip of that tool to scratch the surface of the metal. Okay, right there it's hit. I'm going to zero out my crossfeed dial, so we set that on 0. And again, this is a final cut, so I want to be a little more cautious. Probably need to take 25 thousandths off, but I'm just going to move it in 20 and measure. So I'll engage my feed here. We'll do a test cut. So it should just be a real light cut. If you notice large chips coming off there, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so we'll measure that with our micrometer again. We're looking for 1.1 in that neighborhood there. And that again is measuring about 6 thousandths bigger. So we're just slightly bigger. I'm gonna move it in and take a few thousandths off. I want to leave on just a couple thousandths for file and polishing. So perfect would be at this point 1.102. So we're very close to that now. I'm just going to adjust a small amount. I'm going to move my cross feed in about 3 thousandths of an inch. Pretty confident that it's going to be real close, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut down the entire length. taking a heavier cut, it could want to push the metal back into the chuck, causing this to loosen up. But this being such a light pass, you really don't have to worry about that too much. So just, anyway, if you notice that to stop rotating, you just need to come back and snug up the hand wheel a little bit and bring it back up into it. As that gets closer to making its final cut there, kind of next thing it's going to have us do is lay out some lines. It's really hard to see our lines in that shiny metal, so I'm going to use this machinist die, layout fluid, to just kind of paint the sections of the barrel we're going to need to work on. Work in the middle area here, a little bit on the end, and then down there when it's finished cutting. So that takes a couple minutes to dry, so we have a few minutes here as this cuts. As we get closer to the chuck here, you want to be extremely cautious of where you're at. You don't want to leave the machine or anything. This is going to keep moving. It's waiting for us to stop it. So you're not getting into the chuck. And it Okay, so I got my hand on the feed engage lever, ready to disengage that. Being very careful not to run into the chuck. So we complete that cut, and you can see we're extremely close to the chuck, but we are not hitting it. And you do not want to hit that chuck. Your machine shop instructor would get very upset. We'll go ahead and finish our layout. We need that area there.